For background of problems, Nestle is a very large company, so to get tasks to be done in an organized manner, manager needs to use a variety of effective management techniques. In today's technological era, they need to be changed because traditional management no longer meets the latest modern technology. Nestle must contend with the 21st century's fast technological advancement of growing industry competitiveness. Nestle competes with a wide range of companies, includes Pepsi, Mars, and others. It is not easy to ensure that Nestle remains committed to driving sustainable business growth with the various problems that come. In the year 2017, domestic and global economic change were prevalent. The depreciation of the ringgit and the rise in the cost of the raw materials had a negative impact on the business. While revenue increased due to home and abroad sales, the firm was badly impacted by price increase of sugar, milk powder, and coffee beans. Subsequently, as the value of the currency fell, the expenses of the company imported raw and packaging materials had a negative effect on a company business. For the year 2018, a video recording was circulated regarding the exposure of high sugar content of 40% in Nestle malt drink under the Milo brand. The revelation was shared by famous entrepreneur and it was shared through his Facebook page. The controversy to some extent tarnishes Nestle's name and also has a negative impact on the company. Nestle performed well during 2019. This great performance was achieved by recording another year of improvement as a result of strong of local sales growth. However, certain export markets have poor demand. A difficult year for international trade was experienced with declining demand weighing on overall economic activity. Due to the worldwide economic uncertainty, the company overall turnover remained impacted by the subdued export demand. Like the years before, foreign currency fluctuation continued in the year as well. Furthermore, Nestle still had to deal with the uncertainty of the national economy. In 2020, COVID-19 caused all nations implementing lockdown to contain the outbreak. Nestle has temporarily stopped operation as a result of the government's MCO and sales has fallen. As a result, the net profit margin in 2020 be lower than in the previous year. In addition, the dairy farmer who collaborate directly with Nestle Malaysia have experienced demand disruption. However, Nestle keeps on fulfilling its commitment to buy the specified quantity in order to support the farmers. Nestle manufacturing costs increased as a result of this move.
Throughout this group assignment, there are some purposes we want to achieve. Among them, we want to study the financial analysis of Nestle company before and during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. Secondly, we also study the financial performance of Nestle company using ratio activities such as liquidity ratio, efficiency ratio, leverage ratio, and profitability ratio. And the last one is, we also offer some appropriate suggestions to Nestle company for improving their performance. It is Nestle must stabilize their company in terms of their financial statements and remain sustainable to face unexpected economic conditions. And the last one is perform more corporate social responsibility (CSR).
The scope of study focused on analyzing and comparing the performance by Nestle Malaysia before and during COVID-19 for the years 2017 to 2020, and as well how the company can overcome the issue in that situation. The study based on financial position of Nestle Malaysia. We obtained the information about Nestle financial position data from the website Bursa Malaysia. Different ratios are used to compare the performance including liquidity ratio, activity ratio, leverage ratio, and profitability ratio. This study also helps management to make a decision for the company.
As the method of investigation, we use qualitative research technique and descriptive statistical computation.
The graph shows the current ratio. It can be seen that the current ratio is slightly up from 0.66 in 2017 to 0.98 in 2018. It demonstrates that the company has no difficulty meeting the short-term obligation. The number of ratio is relatively low, starting at 0.65 in 2019. Then the steep decline, which was only 0.59. The current ratio 2019 is showing that Nestle does not have enough liquid asset to cover its short-term debt. In 2020, the company's current liability have increased significantly. Quick ratio for the first year in 2017, the company is at 0.37. Afterward, a slight increase in the quick ratio in 2018 came to 0.38. Then a continuing declining occurs in the next 2 years, which reached 0.31 and 0.27 respectively. The ratio fell to its lowest during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. The company will not be able to pay its current liability on the time without liquidating the inventories. From the graph, there is a clear trend towards increasing from 2017 to 2020, with negative 548,946 in the first year. In the following years, it increased to negative 566,663 and 581,737 respectively. The net working capital rose to a high point and peaked in 2020 at a negative 736,947. It indicates the Nestle current assets are insufficient to cover all of its current liabilities. This working capital indicates that Nestle have low quality, poor short-term health, and the possibility of having difficulty meeting its debt commitment when they come due.
Based on the graph, we can see that ratio started to decline from 2017, it is 7.13 times, and 2018 it was 6.4 times prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Nestle company's inventory turnover gradually declined during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019, from 6.24 times in 2019 to 5.3 times in 2020. The Nestle company does not have the effectiveness of inventory to generate their sales. In 2017 and 2018, originally, the average collection period was 40 days in 2017 and 39 days in 2018. The debt collection period from 2018 until 2020 is getting shorter. The company debt collection rate in 2018 and 2019 was 39 days and 33 days respectively. Company experienced a reduction. The debt collection period was reduced against to 31 days in 2020. Nestle company did not experience any difficulty in collecting their debt during these 4 years. The reason why Nestle can collect their debt because they have a strong company policy on collecting their debt. Now I'm going to explain about the account receivable turnover. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been an increase in the ratio of 0.06 times for the year 2017 to 2018, which is from a ratio of 9.06 to 9.12 times. Then, the increase in the ratio happened again in 2018 and 2019 by 1.74 times with a rate of 9.12 for 2018 and 10.86 for 2019. Increase again by 0.59 times when the spread of COVID-19 occurred in 2019 and 2020. Year of 2019 was 10.86 times, while the ratio for the year 2020 is as much as 11.45 times. You can see here that throughout the 4-year period, the rate of the ratio increased every year. Nestle company to be effective in collecting its account receivable. Meanwhile, for the fixed asset, as on the graph, the ratio of fixed asset in 2017 to 2018 has decreased from 3.55 times to 3.38 times. The decrease in this ratio occurred before the COVID-19. The trend decreased from 2018 to 2019 and 2020, at which point the COVID-19 epidemic had started to spread. In 2018 and 2019, the company fixed asset ratio decreased to 3.38 to 3.34 times in 2019, which is rate at 3.34, and in 2020 with a value of 3.04. Although Nestle company experienced a decrease in its fixed asset turnover ratio, sales for this company can still be generate more than 1 ringgit for every one of fixed asset. Nestle company does not have the effectiveness of fixed asset to generate their sales. The reason is Nestle company faced on economic downturn such as pandemic COVID-19 and having some problem with their machine operation. And here the last ratio in efficiency ratio, it is total asset turnover. Based on the graph, the total asset turnover ratio before COVID-19 in 2017 was 2.06 times and decreased to 1.94 times in 2018. However, in 2019, the total asset turnover ratio has increased back to 2.02 times, while during the COVID-19 disaster, this ratio dropped back to 1.89 in 2020. The efficiency of Nestle company in using their asset to obtain revenue or sales is at a lower level. The lower ratio makes Nestle company lose to generate profit. Now, in leverage ratio, here the explanation for the debt ratio graph. In 2017, the debt ratio was 74.97% and increased to 77.01% in 2018. COVID-19 occurred before the from 2018 to 2019, the debt ratio decreased by 1.4%. However, in 2019 and 2020, the ratio of 75.61% and 80.52%. During the global COVID-19 outbreak, the debt ratio increased. The Nestle company had to take out several loans in order to save its operation. The increase in the debt ratio caused the Nestle company to bear a high debt burden to finance their asset. Reasons why this happened during by Nestle to produce their product are very costly, and because of that, Nestle had to go into debt to continue their company's operation. Firstly, based on the debt-to-equity ratio graph before the COVID-19 pandemic, there was an increase in the ratio of 35.57% from 2017 to 2018, which is from a ratio of 299.57% to 335.14%. Then there was a decrease in the ratio in 2018 and 2019 of 25.09% with a rate of 335.14% for 200 and 310.05% for 2019. This debt to equity ratio increased again by 103.54%, which is when COVID-19 occurred in 2019 and 2020. The debt to equity ratio for 2019 was 310.04%, while the ratio for 2020 was 413.59%. Based on the explanation, we can see for the 4-year period that started in 2017 and 2018, it has been shown that Nestle company experienced a crisis in 2018 and 2019, the ratio rate decreased. Finally, in 2019 and 2020, the ratio increased. This has shown that Nestle company has a higher amount of debt, means that the company increased their risk.
The gross profit margin in 2017 was 36.7% due to a higher cost of goods sold, and it reached a peak in 2018 at 38,000.7%. The company effectively controlled goods cost of goods sold in 2018 and gained the highest gross profit. After that, in 2019, has seen a sharp fall to 37.6%. During 2020, the margin fell to a low point of 36.3%. During the pandemic, there was a low gross profit due to insufficient sales volume. The first year operating profit margin was 16.1%. Next, in 2018, there is a slight increase. In the following years, the margin decreased to 16.5%. However, a continued steep fall in the percentage, which was only 40%, is expected through 2020. The steep fall in 2020 was due to the COVID-19 situation, which made the cost of goods sold increase. The highest peak percentage of which was 12.3% in the first year. During 2018, the ratio was 12.2% and increased to 12.6% in the next year. Nevertheless, the 2020 margin reached its lowest point at only 10.2%. In 2020, the company dropped to its lowest net profit margin. It is because of the poor profit growth that investors have a negative expectation of the return on equity. As the graph shows, the first year of the analysis shows the peak percentage of the return on asset, which is 25.3%. Then there was a slight decline in the next year, which is 20.1%. The ROE for 2019 show an increase of 24.7% but continued to fall, resulting in only 19.3% in 2020. The higher ROA is due to its efficient in asset utilization. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the following year, the ratio drops again. During 2017, the return on equity was 100.9% and it dropped to 100.7% in the second year. The peak of ROE comes in 2019, which is 101.2% of return. However, the lowest ratio in 2020 shows only 99.2%. The peak ROE in 2019 might be caused by investment made by the company being very accurate, allowing all assets to be used effectively and profitably.
In summary, financial ratios have the ability to help management make a financial comparison every year to evaluate their business performance. This proves that financial statements are a good way to overview organization activities.
As for the recommendation, we will suggest 3 recommendations to Nestle, which are: firstly, Nestle have to stabilize their company in terms of their financial part. Secondly, Nestle have to remain sustainable to face unexpected economic conditions. And lastly, Nestle have to perform more corporate social responsibility activities.